Green Bay.
I can see him taking the job because, there's only 32 of these coveted head coaching jobs in the National Football League. And though he turned down one last year, to get the opportunity to work with a guy like Aaron Rodgers can be a gift or a curse because Aaron's one of those guys, kind of like, when your buddy's dating a girl and she's gorgeous and he tells you, I'll tell you, hey, man, something about her personality doesn't quite work for me, but you got to try it out. He's got the perfect shape, she looks good. But when you get in that room and you start talking to her, it's like, she's pretty, but I don't know if I can quite handle her. That's kind of the feel I get with Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, a great arm, all this stuff that he can do. But it's the other stuff that we're talking about. It's being in a room with him, being on the team with him. You feeling like it's a constant battle between you as a head coach and him as a player. And so I think he will ultimately take this job, but I don't think it's the right fit for him, his personality. And, I don't know how him and Aaron are going to get along in that building.
Here's the thing. He's going to want a certain level of control. And I don't know if the Packers' power structure is conducive to what he wants. He's going to want, say, Final 53. He's going to want, say, over who comes and who goes. And I don't know if Mark Murphy's going to be willing to give that up. But look, for what his prowess is, offensive great mind, because what we've seen, we don't really know how good of an offensive coordinator he is. Now, we saw him at Denver. It didn't work out very well, call and play. We saw him as an offensive coordinator, go to the Rams. It didn't work out very well. We've only seen him have success, Skip, with Tom Brady. So how good as an offensive coordinator is he? In Denver, as a head coach, it was terrible. He was terrible, Skip. Skip, I've been a lot of places. And normally when someone's like, man, it was tough, you can always find someone that's like, nah, he was pretty cool. It was okay. Skip, and I'm very careful. I'm very careful. You never hear me say all or every. I have every person that I've talked to that was in Denver during the time Josh McDaniel was there. Skip, I said every, capital E, to start every, had nothing good to say about him. I'm not talking about the players, because I have the players, that goes without saying. So, but he doesn't know. And see, Skip, hopefully he's learned, because a lot about coaching is communicating and learning how to talk to people. Yeah, X's and O's is important, because when players come to you, they need to know what the hell you talking about. But you got to be able to know how to talk to people. And another thing that he's going to have to weigh, because he came back for one reason, Skip. They gave him some assurances. They would give him strong consideration for the head coaching job in New England. How much longer is Coach Belichick going to be in New England? I believe Coach Belichick going to wait this thing out. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So that's what he's going to have to weigh. Is he going to be, am I going to be able to sit around here and be back up to Coach Belichick for another 3-4 years? Or do I go ahead and strike out on my own again and prove to people that I'm more than Tom Brady, that I can be a head coach in this league? That's what's going to be, the interesting thing to whether or not Josh McDaniel takes this job if he's offered it.
By the way, just point of order here. You often say on this show that you win every debate, which is just ludicrous. But you say you never use that word every, but you use it like every day.
I'm fine with the debate.
Okay. So now back to the real world and Josh McDaniels. To your point, Charlie Weiss did pretty well with Tom Brady, and Bill O'Brien did really well with Tom Brady, and Josh has been doing really well with Tom Brady, and so we don't know. Charlie had a hard time being a head coach. I think Bill's having a hard time, but he
got Deshaun.
Deshaun fell out of heaven into his laps and saved him. So, again, the most intriguing story of the last year or so in the National Football League was at the last second, Josh McDaniels jerked the rug out from under the Indianapolis Colts. And his agent was so upset with him that his agent departed. He just quit on him. He said, I can't have you. You're going to ruin my reputation because you ruined yours with everybody else. So I'm not sure that Green Bay would want him. But to your point, something happened in New England that was really profound because that owner somehow promised this still fairly young head coach, or he'd been a head coach, that he was going to get a shot sooner than later to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. And I can't figure out any timeline here because, to your point, Belichick seems like he's dug in. They're 9-3 right now, so they're doing okay. So let's do worst case the rest of this year. If New England doesn't have home field throughout the playoffs and they have to go on the road to, let's do Kansas City, and they get blown out in Kansas City, and maybe some stories leak out that Brady and Belichick are still at each other's throat for whatever reason, is it possible that would be the end of Bill Belichick? Because that's the timeline that would keep Josh in New England, right? Yeah. Because if you go out much longer, then it's going to be diminishing returns on Tom Brady. Because, again, I think he'll play until he's 45. But that, again, is Belichick going to play until he's 45? You know, like effectively, is he going to last until Tom's gone? Is he going to try to outlast Tom?
Yes.
I don't know, because Josh could get left holding nothing in New England, right? Because he could wind up with Belichick, who probably is out on Josh now because he thinks Josh has been handpicked to be his successor.
Right.
And you don't want that because he will do you in. He's got scoundrel in him, Belichick.
And I think that's the thing, Skip, is that both of them are trying to outlast each other.
That's correct.
Tom Brady says, I ain't going nowhere. Bill Belichick says, I'm not going anywhere. But if I'm a head coach and I'm interested in the Green Bay job, I'm like, I ain't giving up hope because he might get it and back out of it like he did the Indy job. Yeah. And he might be so terrible that he's gone after a year and a half anyway. So I'm not losing hope.
Yeah. So back to your original point. To me, I'm going to say it again. Aaron Rodgers is like coaching LeBron James. It can be great and it can take years off your life because it is not easy because they both have drama swirling around them. And now it sounds like Aaron has seized pretty much total control of the franchise. So you're going to be he's going to be your boss. Yeah. He's going to, in the end, he's going to have final say over you. Do you really want to inflict that upon yourself? Again, is he a great thrower? Yeah, obviously, maybe the greatest thrower of the football ever. But there's a whole lot of that pretty girl, man.
And that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to Josh McDaniels. If he really wants this job or is intrigued by this job, sitting down at some point with Aaron Rodgers and just filling him out, because you can hear a lot of things about a person, but until you actually sit down with them, that might be the perfect chemistry for those two guys. Yeah. We don't know. And so that's what Josh needs to figure out is that the perfect chemistry or relationship for him? And can he work with Aaron Rodgers going forward? Like you said, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a hand in this. And so if he's even in the discussion, it's because Aaron has said, I think this guy can work for us.
First of all, Aaron Rodgers is the CEO. Because he makes $33.5 million. The CEO of the company,
they make the most.
Skip, 99% of the time, the CEO wins out over everybody else. So if something comes up, the CEO normally wins out. Okay, Aaron is the CEO because he's the highest paid. So if there is ever a conflict, I don't see a scenario where Aaron is going to lose out. Now, maybe when he gets 38, 39, he's not the same Aaron Rodgers. Maybe. But at this juncture, he's going to win out.
And meanwhile, in New England, Tom Brady is mostly a good soldier for that organization, except when he saw the handwriting that my head coach wants to replace me with Jimmy Garoppolo, and then he went upstairs and knocked on the owner's door.
No, that wasn't no handwriting. He put that thing in the sky. Okay. Yeah, he had an airplane right there. Well, I want Tom up out of here.
And who won that little tiff?
Coach Belichick said, I have not yet begun to fight.
Yeah, well, I think he's...
Coach Belichick said, I ain't going down without a fight.
Yeah. I think if you put Josh McDaniels on a lie detector, he would tell you that Tom Brady is not good to work with. He's great to work with. And I know they had their one clash on the sideline when I think Josh just lost his mind and showed up Brady when he was coming off the field like, why didn't you throw it to him? Remember that? Yeah. And Brady stopped and then turned around and he gave him an earful.
He did give him an earful.
That was the time we saw it publicly. Yeah. But when you've been together this long, there's been a lot of pride behind the scenes.
Maybe.
Yeah, it probably had. And that's what makes me think that maybe he can work with Aaron. Because, come on, as great a teammate as Tom is, I'm sure Tom behind closed doors has had some choice words for Josh McDaniels. And so I think he can kind of handle that a little bit, I think he can. I think
any relationship,
a little bit.
D. Hall, you're married. Jenny, you're married. Skip, you're married. I've been in relationships long term. There have been a lot of times that you got to bite your tongue.
Oh, yeah, you better.
You got to, you know what? growing up and how I grew up in the South, there's a lot of times I really wanted to say something to my granny. I really did, but you know what? You have to just bite your tongue because you're going to hit you in your mouth and you're going to be upset.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure. Tom, I'm certain of it, that Tom is bitten his tongue a lot. When you have those kind of credentials, Skip, and bro, I'm like, who are you talking to? I got 5 Super Bowl wins, 8 appearances. Who are you, Josh? You're the reason you got a job is because of me. Mm-hmm. But he's like, you know what? Josh tries to coach him and says, Tom, I need you to do. You're right. You're right.
Okay, but what do we see in Tom versus Tom? And maybe it was for the camera.
Yeah.
But Brady's sitting at his computer late at night at his house watching preseason tape of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he sees something and he calls Josh McDaniels. Hey, I just found so-and-so about, like, he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
Huh? You think he's fun?
Do
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think he's like a little cliched kid, lame, like, what do you call him?
Corny.
Corny.
That's okay.
Corny like that.
But see,
Corny.
he's a pleasure.
Jenny loved them all American corn dodgery guys.
Yeah, the secret's out. I do. I'm all in.
I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, Jenny, come on.
I don't mind
Don't
it.
edge.
She couldn't tell that was staged.
I mean,
I thought it was real, man.
Stop it,
I
Skip.
fall for
You
all
believe
of it.
you believe everything Tom would do is real. You're like, oh, did it? What kind of card did you? Tom was really going to tire. The only reason I'm sticking around, guys, is because I wanted to get to 9. I wanted to get to 1,000.
He got you good. He got you good.
He's like, oh, food you. Got to go to work.
I got to go to work.
maybe Aaron
I can
Rodgers should
retire
start
now.
doing that, though. Like, he needs a little bit of an image change. Maybe we need a little, like, corny Aaron
Yep. But
on
by
his
the
social
way,
media.
you got to give Josh McDaniels one thing. He made one great move in his life. He drafted Tim Tebow.
Oh, I think
How
you
about
ruined
that?
it. No.
There
Did he not?
it is.
No,
Did he not?
There it is.
Yeah.
Didn't that qualify
Do
him
you
as
realize
potential Hall of Famer?
He traded the first-round pick to move back up to draft Tim
Yeah.
Tebow. And the guy he took in the second round, I'm not going to even talk.